Look down at your hands right now. Touch the desk in front of you, or the screen you are holding. It feels completely solid, right? You have been taught your entire life that the physical world is made of dense, unmovable matter. But what if I told you that, according to the absolute highest levels of modern theoretical physics, there is actually nothing solid there at all? What you are experiencing is simply a highly complex vibrating symphony of invisible energy. And the most shocking part is not that modern science has discovered this. The truly mind-bending reality is that the exact mathematical framework for this vibrating universe was perfectly documented, symbolized, and worshipped in ancient India, thousands of years before the invention of the first electron microscope. The other day, I was watching my baby just naturally moving and playing, completely absorbed in this rhythmic, almost vibrating energy of pure life. It was not chaotic, it was a perfect, flowing rhythm. As I watched that natural rhythm, it profoundly shifted my perspective on a scientific paper I had been reading about quantum mechanics. I realized that this continuous, rhythmic vibration is not just a biological phase of early human development, it is the absolute, foundational blueprint of reality itself. We spend our adult lives trying to build solid, permanent structures, completely forgetting that the universe fundamentally refuses to stand still. We are not made of static building blocks. We are made of an eternal microscopic dance. To truly understand the massive scientific revolution happening right now, we have to look at how arrogant classical physics used to be. For a long time, we were taught that if you zoom in close enough, everything in the universe is made of tiny, solid, spherical billiard balls called atoms. Then we zoomed in further and found protons, neutrons, and electrons. We still thought of them as solid little dots of matter. But when particle accelerators became advanced enough to smash these subatomic particles together, the entire foundation of materialistic science collapsed. Physicists realized that these particles are not solid at all. In fact, an atom is 99.9999% empty space. If you were to blow up a single hydrogen atom to the size of a massive sports stadium, the nucleus would be the size of a tiny marble sitting on the 50-yard line, and the electron would be a microscopic speck flying around the highest seats in the stands. Everything else in that stadium is just an invisible pulsing void. So why does a rock feel hard? Why does a wall stop you from walking through it? It is purely because of electromagnetic repulsion. The invisible energy fields of your hand are violently repelling the invisible energy fields of the wall. Solid matter is a mathematical illusion, but the rabbit hole goes infinitely deeper. And this is where the ancient Vedic texts begin to overlap with modern science in a way that will shatter your worldview. When elite physicists tried to figure out what those tiny subatomic specks actually were, they developed the most advanced mathematical framework in human history: string theory. String theory suggests that if you take an electron or a quark and zoom in millions of times closer, you will not find a solid dot. You will find a microscopic, incredibly thin, one-dimensional loop of pure energy. And this loop is moving. It is constantly, violently vibrating. Just like the string on a guitar or a violin, these microscopic loops can vibrate at different frequencies. When a guitar string vibrates in one specific pattern, it produces a musical note like a C. When it vibrates in a different pattern, it produces an E. In string theory, when a microscopic loop of energy vibrates at one specific mathematical frequency, it manifests as an electron. If that exact same string changes its vibration to a different frequency, it manifests as a quark or a photon of light. Let that sink into your mind for a moment. The entire physical universe, the stars, the planets, the device you are watching this on, and your own biological body are not made of solid stuff. You are a vast, unimaginably complex symphony of vibrating cosmic strings. The universe is not a giant machine. It is a limitless, continuous song. Now, I want you to step back from the modern laboratories of Silicon Valley and Europe and travel back thousands of years to the dense forests and ancient temples of India. The sages of Sanatana Dharma did not have Large Hadron Colliders. They did not have supercomputers. But through the supreme technology of human consciousness, and deep meditative observation, they completely decoded the structural reality of the universe. In the ancient philosophical system of Kashmiri Shaivism, there is a profound concept known as Spanda. The literal Sanskrit translation of Spanda is throb, pulse, or vibration. The ancient tantric texts state absolutely clearly that the ultimate reality of the universe is not a static, solid object. It is an unceasing, primordial vibration of pure consciousness. The sages documented that physical matter only appears solid to our limited human senses, but at its absolute core, it is simply a dense manifestation of Spanda. They understood that the physical world is essentially frozen music, but the ancient Hindus did not just write this down in complex philosophical treatises. They needed a way to transmit this hyper-advanced quantum physics to the masses across thousands of generations without the data being corrupted. So they encoded this mathematical truth into the most flawless, breathtaking visual metaphor ever conceived by human beings. The image of Lord Shiva as Nataraja, the cosmic dancer. When you look at a traditional bronze murti of Shiva Nataraja, you are not looking at a primitive religious idol. You are looking at a highly sophisticated, three-dimensional diagram of string theory and quantum mechanics. Every single millimeter of that sculpture contains hard, scientific data. Let us decode the physics hidden within the dance. Nataraja is surrounded by a massive, blazing ring of fire called the Prabhamandala. This circle of flames represents the entire observable universe, the absolute boundaries of space and time, and the continuous, unending cycle of cosmic creation and dissolution. It is the boundary of physical reality. Inside this ring, the Supreme Lord performs the Ananda Tandava, the fierce, ecstatic dance of creation, preservation, and destruction. Look closely at his upper right hand. He is holding the Damaru, a small, hourglass-shaped drum. This drum is not just a musical instrument. It represents the primordial sound, the original acoustic vibration, the Omkara, from which all physical matter in the universe is actively generated. It is the exact ancient representation of the vibrating strings that modern physicists are desperately trying to prove. The Damaru signifies that the universe is spoken or vibrated into existence. Now, look at his upper left hand. He holds Agni, the cosmic fire. Fire represents entropy, destruction, and the inevitable dissolution of all physical matter. Here, in these two hands, you have the absolute perfection of the laws of thermodynamics and quantum field theory perfectly balanced. You have the continuous, simultaneous creation of subatomic particles through vibration, and their immediate destruction and return to the quantum vacuum. In his lower right hand, Shiva displays the Abhaya Mudra, the gesture of fearlessness telling the observer not to be terrified of this violent, continuous cosmic fluctuation. His lower left hand points gracefully down toward his raised left foot. This raised foot represents ultimate spiritual liberation, the release from the hypnotic illusion of Maya, the illusion that the physical world is solid and permanent. And what is he standing on? His right foot is planted firmly on the back of Apasmara, a small demonic dwarf. Apasmara does not represent an evil spirit. He represents human ignorance. Specifically, the exact type of spiritual and scientific ignorance that makes us believe the physical world is made of dead, solid, disconnected matter. By crushing Apasmara, Shiva is demonstrating that the ultimate truth of the universe, the vibrating, interconnected dance of energy, can only be realized when we destroy our own limited, materialistic perception. For centuries, Western historians and colonial academics looked at the Nataraja and dismissed it as a quaint, artistic piece of Eastern mythology. They thought it was just a beautiful statue for people who did not understand how the real world worked. But the absolute truth is that the ancient Hindus were so far ahead of their time that modern science is only just now developing the mathematical vocabulary necessary to understand what the Nataraja actually means. This brings me to the most mind-bending, undisputed historical fact of this entire presentation. If you travel to Geneva, Switzerland today, you will find the headquarters of CERN, the European Organization for Nuclear Research. This is arguably the most advanced scientific facility on the face of the Earth. It is the home of the Large Hadron Collider, a massive 27-kilometer subterranean machine where the brightest physicists from over 100 countries smash subatomic particles together at the speed of light, desperately trying to decode the fundamental secrets of the universe. You would expect the entrance of this supreme temple of modern science to feature a statue of Albert Einstein, Isaac Newton, or maybe a massive model of an atom. But in 2004, the Indian government gifted a statue to CERN, and the elite directors of this facility proudly erected it right in the main courtyard, permanently welcoming the greatest scientific minds in the world. It is a massive, 2-meter-tall, highly detailed bronze statue of Lord Shiva Nataraja. Why would the most prestigious quantum physics laboratory on Earth place a Hindu deity at its center? It is not about religious diplomacy. It is about hard, peer-reviewed, scientific reverence. Next to the statue, there is a special plaque featuring a quote from Fritjof Capra, a world-renowned Austrian-born theoretical physicist. The plaque explicitly reads, "Modern physics has shown that the rhythm of creation and destruction is not only manifest in the turn of the seasons and in the birth and death of all living creatures, but is also the very essence of inorganic matter." For the modern physicists, then, Shiva's dance is the dance of subatomic matter. Hundreds of years ago, Indian artists created visual images of dancing Shivas in a beautiful series of bronzes. In our time, physicists have used the most advanced technology to portray the patterns of the cosmic dance. The metaphor of the cosmic dance thus unifies ancient mythology, religious art, and modern physics. The greatest physicists on Earth have officially conceded that they are not discovering anything new. They are simply using multi-billion-dollar machines to verify the exact cosmological architecture that was channeled by ancient rishis in deep states of expanded consciousness. The scientists at CERN are literally looking for the exact same microscopic vibrations that the Nataraja's Damaru has been beating out for millennia. They are searching for the physical evidence of Spanda. When you deeply internalize this reality, it permanently alters how you interact with the world. You stop viewing your body as a fixed, decaying physical object, and you start understanding it as a highly dynamic, vibrating field of energy that is intimately connected to the larger cosmic dance. You are not separate from the universe, observing it from the outside. You are an active, vibrating component of the performance. Every thought you have, every word you speak, is a subtle vibration that ripples out and interacts with the quantum field. The ancient sages understood that because we are made of the same vibrating strings as the stars, we have the profound ability to tune our own internal frequencies. This is the exact hard science behind why reciting a Sanskrit mantra with perfect phonetic precision physically alters your brainwaves and biological state. You are actively tuning your microscopic strings to harmonize with the macroscopic rhythm of the universe. We have been conditioned by modern education to believe that science and spirituality are absolute enemies. We are taught that you must choose between the cold, hard logic of the laboratory or the blind, subjective faith of religion. But the truth of Sanatana Dharma completely obliterates this false division. The Vedas are not asking for your blind faith. They are presenting you with an incredibly advanced framework of cognitive physics and asking you to test it yourself. The knowledge encoded within the scriptures, the precise geometry of the temple architecture, the acoustic science of the mantras, and the profound symbolism of the deities are all components of a unified scientific theory that the Western world is only just beginning to mathematically prove. It is our absolute responsibility to ensure that this profound intellectual heritage is not lost or reduced to mere cultural mythology. The West is currently spending trillions of dollars to map the quantum realm, and when they finally write the ultimate equation for string theory, we must be there to remind the world that the equation was already written in the Agamas. We must reclaim the narrative and boldly state that the ultimate frontier of modern physics is actually a return to ancient Hindu cosmology. If this deep, uncompromising breakdown of string theory and the cosmic dance of Shiva has completely shattered your perception of reality and modern science, you have to help me push this knowledge past the algorithm. The system is designed to keep humanity distracted with shallow content, but we are building a massive community dedicated to supreme truth and historical accuracy. Hit the like button right now to force the platform to share this profound science with the world. I want you to go down into the comments immediately and tell me exactly how you feel about the Nataraja statue standing at CERN. Does it change how you view our ancient scriptures? Are you going to start looking at the world as a vibrating field of energy rather than solid matter? Let me know your exact thoughts, because I read every single comment to see who is truly absorbing this information. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel with the notification bell turned on so you never miss these highly intellectual dives into the unedited truth. Keep your mind razor sharp, stay deeply rooted in our ancient science, and I will see you in the next one.